What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for the Week 25 Premier League predictions. Here are the winning accumulators we had over on the Patreon, exclusive for members over there, and on the YouTube channel using the join button down below. Since the last Premier League predictions video, we had the UCL double. I still don't know the result of the PSG game and the Bayern Munich game. I think PSG and Bayern Munich should win. I think PSG at home I'm confident with, but Bayern Munich, they might slip up. I could see that being a draw, to be honest, but we'll see. We've got the UCL double, and then we have the over 2.5 goals sixfold, the championship result on both teams to score double. We've had some success in the Serie A lately as well, Premier League treble, and then a result and goal scorer pick for Haaland and Manchester City, of course. Flashing up on the screen are the members that have joined the Patreon since we started. I really do appreciate it. If you want to get these exclusive members tips, accumulators, and everything like that, and a shout out in every single Full 90 video, then just click the join link using the description down below. I've got a lot of value today, especially with the result on both teams to score market, and kicking it off, we do have Brentford up against Liverpool at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Liverpool coming off the back of a win against Burnley, 3-1. We had Liverpool -1 handicap there. That was a good result for them. And Brentford, a very, very good result away against Wolves. That was one of the only two tips I got wrong last week. I had Arsenal and both teams to score. They won 6-0. And I had both teams to score, Wolves, Brentford. And Brentford won 2-0 away from home at Molineux. Absolutely insane. I think Brentford at home, they are going to score. I've dabbled with the idea of Liverpool to win and Ivan Toney to score. But I've decided on the basis I think Brentford will probably be lucky to score just the one goal. I'm not going to put all that pressure on Ivan Toney, even if he is the likely goal scorer. So I've just gone with Liverpool to win 3-1, and the tip being Liverpool and both teams to score at 2.75. Let's move swiftly on to Turf Moor for Burnley up against Arsenal. Burnley getting not a late goal, getting an equaliser, I believe it was actually, against Liverpool, but then succumbing essentially to who are a better team. Arsenal, their biggest away victory in the Premier League, 6-0 away to West Ham. That is absolutely phenomenal. I'd love to know the odds you'd get for an Arsenal -5 handicap win in that fixture away to West Ham. I mean, let's try and have a look. All I can do is take a game with the same odds for the team to win as Arsenal were against West Ham and set the handicap. I know it wouldn't be quite the same because some teams are more likely to score, etc. But let's have a look here. Alternative handicap result. It's not even offered. Not even close. You'd probably be looking at odds of about 20-1. I'm going to go for another convincing Arsenal away win. They've looked absolutely phenomenal in 2024, keeping themselves in the title race from pretty much the point where their poor run of form from match week 17 to 20 suggested to everyone that it was now a two-horse race. Since then, they've stayed there or thereabouts. Do I think Arsenal are going to win the league? No, I don't. I think we've got a decent chance in the Champions League, to be honest. But I still think Arsenal are going to win this one quite convincingly. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to the Gunners. Arsenal -1 handicap at 1.83. After this, it's Fulham up against Aston Villa, and I'm kind of struggling a little bit to pick a winner here. Aston Villa losing out to Manchester United, and Fulham sort of against the run of play, certainly on XG terms, beating Bournemouth, even though Bournemouth were absolutely peppering them by the end of the game. I think the XG figures were slightly skewed because Bournemouth were pushing at the end for a win, and Fulham necessarily didn't have to create any XG because they'd already scored the goals. But I'm actually going to go for a 1-1 draw between the two teams. I know Aston Villa are the better team and have had a better year, but something tells me Fulham can get something from this game. My tip is both teams to score at 1.53. I don't think any of them keep a clean sheet here, so that is what I'm going with. After this, Newcastle up against Bournemouth at St James's Park. We correctly tipped Newcastle to win away against Nottingham Forest at odds of over evens, which is brilliant. And for Newcastle to beat Bournemouth at St James's Park, no less, for odds of 1.83, I cannot look past it. I think Bournemouth are a decent team. I think they'll give them a good go. You could look at Newcastle and both teams to score, but I'm going to go Newcastle to win 2-1, and the tip being Newcastle to win at 1.83. I can't look past those odds. They're absolutely insane, and I think they are going to get the win against a Bournemouth side that just isn't quite at the level of Newcastle, albeit they are having a very good season. After that, Nottingham Forest up against West Ham. I think Nottingham Forest are potentially the team people are looking at for them to go down if Luton are to stay up. I think a lot of people at the moment are of the belief that Sheffield United and Burnley will get relegated, and then the final slot is sort of being decided between Nottingham Forest, Luton, Everton, and then maybe the likes of Crystal Palace and even Brentford if they don't pick up form. But I think Nottingham Forest are the maybe 4th likely to go down. I don't know the odds actually, but I could see them going down. However, at home against West Ham, I just feel like they might be able to get something, especially West Ham coming off the back of a massive defeat. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think high scoring. They managed to get 2 against Newcastle, even though they lost in the end. I'm going to go 2-2. My tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 2.1. I think that's brilliant. I think it could end 2-1 to West Ham, 2-1 to Forest. I think both teams will score above evens. I love the value. I love the odds. After this, it is Tottenham Hotspur up against Wolves. Tottenham with their 3rd stoppage time winner to win 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Brighton. And Wolves, of course, succumbing to a surprise away victory for Brentford. I think Tottenham are in a good position to win this fixture. I think there's going to be goals. I think both teams will score. I think Tottenham are going to win. So I'm going to go for 3-1 to Tottenham Hotspur, and my tip is going to be Tottenham and both teams to score at 2.62. After this, is it game of the week? It probably is, although I am looking forward to Kenilworth Road later on in the video. It is going to be here, Manchester City up against Chelsea. Chelsea, what can you say about Chelsea Football Club? It's so strange. They looked pretty terrible against Palace in the first half. Didn't accumulate any chances at all, but then went on a scoreline that flattered them to win 3-1. We did actually predict that Chelsea would win by 2 goals against Palace, but perhaps not in the fashion that they eventually did. I think Chelsea are going to score against Manchester City because you kind of don't have a choice. You've got to score against Manchester City, really, if you want a chance. And Chelsea are decent enough, but City are going to win. They are going to win. I'm going to go for it. Another 3-1 win to Manchester City against Chelsea, and the tip is Man City and both teams to score at 2.6. Are Manchester City going to lose another game? I think if they're going to drop points, it really does have to be against Man City, against Liverpool or Arsenal, sorry. I just don't see where else it comes from. I'm looking at every other team in the league. Maybe Manchester United, weirdly, because that always kind of happens, or a team like Brighton, I don't know, but trying to pick where Man City will drop points seems impossible. So Man City to win and both teams to score. After that, it is Sheffield United up against Brighton, and Sheffield United getting a brilliant victory against Luton away from home to see them surpass Derby's all-time low score or point record in the Premier League. I still think Sheffield United are going down, but it shows they can be competitive. I think both teams will score in this game. Sheffield United against Brighton, but I do think Brighton are just going to get the win. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to the Seagulls, but I'm not going to the result market. I'm not even going to both teams to score on over 2.5 goals because I can see this being 3-0 to Brighton or even 3-0 to Sheffield United randomly. So my tip is over 2.5 goals at 1.57. Now here we go to Luton up against Manchester United, and I hope that we see a Luton win here because it'd just be so funny. But Manchester United, I think they're going to get the job done. We predicted that Man United would draw with Aston Villa last week in a 2-2 clash with a tip of both teams to score on over 2.5 goals, and it ended up being a 2-1 win to United. Villa looked off the pace, and United did manage to get that late winner through none other than Scott McTominay, and I think Man United are going to do it again against Luton here. Luton coming off the back of a loss against Sheffield United, which we just spoke about, which was quite surprising. So I think Man United will look to get a win. I'm going to go for another 2-1 away win, and the tip is Man United to win at 1.8. You could do Man United and both teams to score, probably odds of about 3.25 if I had to hazard a guess, because I think Luton can score against this United team, but Man United, the sum of their parts is quite considerably higher than Luton, and they should get the win. Man United pushing up the table, not far off the top spots in the league now, and I think they are going to get the win here. And after that, a snooze fest, Monday Night Football, Everton Crystal Palace. Now this season, I very rarely predict this scoreline. I remember back 5 years ago, 2018, 2019, every other week I was predicting a game to end 0-0, and that was just the landscape of the Premier League back then. But these days we're having match weeks with record-breaking numbers of goals, games seeing on average 4 goals a game across the 10 fixtures sometimes, usually over 2.5 goals. I have not predicted, to my knowledge and memory, a 0-0 in the Premier League this season, but I'm going for it now. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0, and the tip is going to be under 2.5 goals at 1.66. It could end 1-1, could end 1-0 either way, could end 2-0 either way, but do I see 3 goals in here? Unless there's a freakishly high-scoring start, which I don't see happening, I think it is going to be a low-scoring game, a bit of a snooze fest Monday Night Football, and Everton and Palace will probably both take the point as well, to be honest, so I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. And that is going to do it for the Week 25 Premier League predictions. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like down below, subscribe on the road to 30,000 subscribers, and I will see you in the next video for my Champions League Round of 16 Part 2 predictions. very soon.